Hello students, I hope your unit tests are going well. And now it's time for social science. Before revising, let me tell you that social science paper is going to be really easy because we just have 2 chapters for the unit test, and those chapters are also giving us a little bit more information about what we studied last year. So let's start with the revision according to your paper style. Question 1 will be multiple choice questions for 5 marks. They are really easy. Even if you guess, you will get the correct answer. First one is, in the ancient time, man used to write on which thing? What material they used to write? A. Cloth. B. Paper. C. Inner bark of tree. D. Leather. There were various sources on which they wrote, but from the given options, the correct answer is C, inner bark of tree. Next question, which of the following is not a source to know history? A. Record. Record are the engravings on stone. B. Copper plate. C. Birch bark. Or D. Vehicle. The answer is D. Vehicle. It is not a source. Next question. Which of the following writings last longer? Which survive the most according to the time? A. Record, that is stone engravings. B. Writings on paper. C. Writings on clothes. D. Writings on leaves of trees. Of all the given options, it is A. Record. How was primitive man's life? The early people, what kind of life they led? A. Nomadic life, that is wandering life, moving from one place to another. B. Settled life, the kind of life we are living. C. Urban settlement life, that is living in cities. And D. Rural settlement life, settled life but in villages. Primitive man's life was nomadic life. Next question. Which weapon was not used by primitive man to hunt animals? Not used. A. Gun. B. Stone weapons. C. Weapons made of bones. D. Wooden weapons. You know, it's really easy. Primitive men did not use gun. In which state is Bhimbetka situated? A. Madhya Pradesh. B. Gujarat. C. Bihar. D. Uttar Pradesh. The correct answer is A. Madhya Pradesh. Which activities were not started by primitive man? Primitive man did not start. A. Farming. B. Cattle rearing. C. Grain storage. Or D. Industries. Primitive men did not start industries. Question 1 is over. Let's see what kind of things we'll be having for match the following. Students, I hope you remember how you have to write match the following. Here I've directly given the answers in front of the questions. Make sure you follow the same format. Question 1, record. The correct answer is option E, text engraved on stone or metal. B, question 2, Bhojpatra. Answer C, bark of a birch tree. C, 3, Tamrapatra. Option D, text engraved on copper plate. If you get confused, just remember Tamra, or as we say in Gujarati, Tambu. So Tambu is copper. So copper plate means Tamrapatra, and Bhoj tree, birch tree. So that will be Bhojpatra. BC, before birth of Christ, and AD, Anno Domini. Question 3 is state whether the following statements are true or false. Read these statements clearly. I like to twist the questions. Here, let's study what I already taught you. 1. Primitive men started rearing violent animals with the beginning of settled life. False. They started rearing domestic animals. 2. Stone implements were used in Stone Age. True. 3. Primitive man has drawn pictures of lion and tiger in Bhimbetka. False. Primitive man has drawn pictures of birds and human beings in Bhimbetka. Fourth, natural colors have been used in caves of Bhimbetka to draw pictures. True. Hello students, I hope your unit tests are going well. And now it's time for social science. Before revising, let me tell you that social science paper is going to be really easy because we just have 2 chapters for the unit test, and those chapters are also giving us a little bit more information about what we studied last year. So let's start with the revision according to your paper style. Next question. Why did the need for settled life arise? The need for settled life arose with the beginning of agriculture. Agricultural land cannot be left out because it takes some time for crops to grow. It needs water and crops have to be harvested when grains are ready. Use of fire brought about which types of changes in human life? With the use of fire, primitive men could cook the meat and eat, get light, and protect themselves from wild animals. Which types of crops were grown by primitive men? The crops grown by primitive men were wheat, barley, rice, lentil, and bajra. Which animals were reared by primitive men? The animals reared by primitive men were sheep, goat, cow, buffalo, pig, etc. So, the small question answers are your portion for the first unit test. They are really easy to understand and very easy to remember. So I hope you all will score full marks in this social science exam in this unit test. All the best.